Hiya and welcome back to my second video. Wow, so first of all I want to say thanks to everybody who messaged me and subscribed and liked my video last time, my introductory video. I was so surprised because normally everybody tells me that I just talk a load of rubbish, so I must be doing something right. So I just want to say thank you so much and it's so appreciated. And again, to continue with the videos that I do, that'd be great for your feedback. So gosh, right? So in all the excitement of doing the first intro video, I totally forgot to mention about my husband Ryan. So I am married and I've been married now, it'll be 2 years on the 1st of June this year, so a few days before we actually have our daughter, so that's so exciting. When we initially found out, they were actually like, she's due on the 1st of June, and Ryan was like, oh, trust her to take the day off us, like joking obviously. I was like, I know. So I'm actually quite glad that we've got a wee bit of time before then to at least celebrate. Hopefully if we can actually go out, that'd be great, just to I can only drink non-alcoholic cocktails, but at least it's better than sitting in the house and pretending. I mean, I must admit, thanks for letting me use up my makeup because it'll only be going off. So positive somewhere, silver lining, right? So I would like to talk about my marriage with Ryan. So there's a few things that he doesn't know that I'm going to talk about today, so that's exciting. So he'll only see it when the video's been posted. So Ryan. So me and Ryan, we've been together, it'll be 7 years on the 25th of February. Long time. I think if you'd have done time you probably would have got a shorter sentence, but I'm only joking. No, we've had a really good time together in these last 7 years. So I'll just talk to you about how we started going out. So for years we kind of fibbed about how we met, not because we were embarrassed or anything, because we wasn't. It was just, obviously at that time it wasn't as popular as what it is now to meet online. So I had just broke up from a long-term relationship. I wasn't really looking for anything exciting, and basically went online, as you do, to boost your confidence, because let's face it, after a breakup you're pretty low. So yeah, I went online, started chatting to a few folk, as you do. Never really met anybody, it was just all chat, you know what it's like. And yeah, basically, you've seen Ryan's profile. He was lying on his bed, you know, all the, you know, not naked lasses, but, you know, bikini lasses in the background, and I thought, oh God, who is this? Like, definitely a lad's lad, definitely not up my street at all. So, kind of ignored him. Didn't really look at his profile. And then the next thing I know, I had a message from Ryan. Basically, it was the most cheesiest thing ever. Basically just saying like, you know, what was it? Like, oh, it was so funny. It was like something like, oh, how does a beautiful girl like you want to look at my profile? I was like, mate, I didn't even look at your profile, but okay. So, you know, wooing with flattery, I was like, oh, all right, well, we'll have a chat. So we started talking about stuff, as you do. And he was really into his cars. And, well, you know, my dad worked for Toyota for many, many years. I didn't really take that much of an interest, but I knew of stuff. Mainly the fancy cars that I wanted my boyfriend to own to pick me up, you know, after work, really, and take me back home. But, however, we started talking about cars, and she was like, what kind of cars do you like? Blah, blah, blah. So I actually Googled, I knew what cars I liked, but I actually Googled, you know, how many horsepower they had, how they do 0 to 60 in so many seconds, just so that I knew that I was talking about, because, or else, you know, that would have been a dead in the water conversation, and I wanted it to kind of go somewhere. So I went on Google and Googled all this stuff, And yeah, he bit it like proper. He was like, oh my god, you're like the woman of my dreams, like how do you know so much about cars? And I was like, oh, do you know, I just know so many things. It was all a lot of rubbish. So that was that. We'd been talking like a couple of weeks on and off, and we decided to meet. So I went round to his mum and dad's house. His mum and dad was actually away in New York at the time. Oh no. So went round, and basically I brought a couple of beers. So I thought, right, if I'm gonna have a beer here, we're staying the night. This is, once I have a drink, that's it, we're staying. So, you know, Emily, prepare yourself for staying. So, because I wanted a beer that night. So, I had a couple of beers. I couldn't find his house, so I phoned him. This Yorkshire lassie just basically going, I can't find your house, can you help me? And that was the first time we've actually talked to each other over the phone, because we're not actually hearing each other's voices. So I can imagine what he thought. So anyway, managed to find his house. He opened the door, and it was like, and the first thing that I noticed was he had loads of tattoos. That was my thing. He had, I mean, I have an ear fetish, right? And it's really weird. Everybody who knows me knows that I've got this weird thing about ears. When my little brother was a baby, I used to basically like grab his ears and just be like, whoa, it's always so cute. So God help our child. So, and Ryan was really slim at the time. I mean, he's like, I still think he's gorgeous now, but, you know, and he had these big ears, and I was like, oh my god, look at him. But he was so handsome. And obviously me being me, walked in and went, I bought some beers. Have you got any good films? Or so we ordered a Chinese, watched the Mickey Flanagan DVD, and I could see him on the sofa, and he's like, his arms going over, and I was like, oh, here we go. He's gonna do the move, ladies, we're gonna do the move. And he's there like looking awfully pleased with himself. It was a couple of hours into the date, and I'm like, should I give him a wee kiss? I mean, we have been talking for a while. So we had a snog. We thought, oh, sorry, we'll have a snog. So I had a snog, and basically we didn't, like, we slept in the same bed, but nothing happened. Honestly, nothing happened. So that was that night. And then he needed to have a lift to the train station, because he was actually going to Amsterdam with his friends at the time. So I thought, oh, well, it was company for the night. It was a good laugh, enjoyed myself. If I don't hear from him again, absolute grand, you know, whatever. And I was actually going to uni that year as well. So I think it was, would have been a couple of months before I went to uni. So I thought, right, thanks very much, see you later. And waved him off, and that was that. And then a couple of weeks later, I got a text, and it was basically like, oh, really missed you when I was in Amsterdam, blah, 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 like, do you want to meet up? And I thought, must have done something right. So anyway, we've seen each other for a while, on and off. We had a couple of dates. I won't really go into it, it's quite boring. No, it wasn't really, but it was good. But I went into all that, and it was his mum and dad's silver wedding anniversary in the February. And we thought, he was like, oh, I'm going to ask her out. So total took his mum and dad's limelight that night, and I met all his friends, and it was really good, and they were a good group, and had a great laugh. And then the end of the night, it was chucking it down with rain, and it was actually his brother who was like, are you gonna go and give Emily your jacket, because she's getting soaked. So I just thought, oh, you know, this laddie's clearly not had experience with lassies, you know, so he obviously doesn't know. But it was a good job that, you know, his brother backed me up on this one, because I was getting soaked, looked like a drowned rat. And basically, yeah, we stopped the car, and he was like, so do you want to be my partner in crime? And I'm like, aye, all right, then that's fine. So, and then ever since then, we'd gone out, and it was great. We basically got to maybe a couple of weeks before I started uni in August, and basically said, you know, like, we had a really good time, and it was more him really than me that basically said, well, you know, you're going to uni, do you think it's really going to work? You know, want to have a good experience and everything. And I just felt a bit like, well, do you think I'm some kind of like, you know, person that just wants to go off to uni and just have a taste of everything in Dundee? But that's not me at all. So I was glad for a couple of weeks, but you know, Freshers Week started. I met the bestest friends in the whole world, and I was like, Ken, whatever, snooze, you lose, pal, see you later. So that was kind of that. After Freshers Week, what a whirlwind that was. I got another text message basically saying he's on the train to Dundee, he's going to come and see me, and he's going to be in Dundee for about 2 o'clock, so I can't really remember. So I was like, oh great, I've just woke up, it's like 12:30, I've been out the night before, a little rough, I'm hungover, last thing I want to do is to go and chasing this guy who dumped me a couple of weeks ago. So basically went to meet him, and the girls obviously had to come to make sure that I was okay, safety numbers and all that jazz. So we all took a trip down to the train station, and yeah, it was good fun. You know, we went out that night and they all sussed him out, and we ended up getting back together. So, you know, it's a happy story in the end, and he obviously realised what he was missing, so he wanted to come back. However, I made him work for it, girls. I made him work. But he was obviously the one for me because, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70, would have been nearly 4 years down the line. He proposed to me after uni. We always said that we'd, you know, if we made it through uni, we can make it through anything. So uni, house, but we rented a house in one of our local villages, and we were all settled. We got a cat. Like, I said to him when I came home from uni, I was like, you know, I'm awfully lonely in this house when I'm not working. And I came home one day to this cat sitting in my living room and looking up at me, and I was just like, okay, I'm a dog person, I've always had dogs all my life, but this is cool and we'll work with this. He's obviously thinking that, you know, this might give me a bit of company. So yeah, so we got a cat, and then in the December of 2017, Ryan proposed to me in my favourite place in the whole world, Disneyland Paris, in front of the castle. And a few of you might have seen this picture. I'm going to try and put it up just now. So, oh my god, best day of my life. And you know what the funny thing was? Everyone was like, look, you've finished uni, you've got a house together, you've got a cat. They were like, oh my god, you're going to get engaged. And I was like, no, I won't. Like, it's not going to happen. And you know, the funny thing was, the night before, I actually checked his suitcase, because I'm that kind of like a nutter. I checked his suitcase to see if there was a ring, but there wasn't, and I was gutted. So I was awfully surprised when you know, he did do it, and I was like, wow, okay, this is magic, like, great. And then as soon as he put the ring on my finger, everything kind of changed. So, you know, I was working a lot, he was working a lot overtime to pay for this wedding, because, I mean, this is my opinion, I'm a big believer, if you're old enough to get married, you're old enough to pay for your own wedding. And you know, I wanted to do most of it ourselves. Obviously, you know, mum and dad just pure helped with things, bits and bobs, and that was obviously really helpful. But you know, it's so hard, you know, to make sure that you've got everything ready, and it was such a stress, and it actually takes you to a place in your relationship that you didn't actually realise was there. Like, you know, I made sure before I got married to Ryan that when we went on the holidays, because you never know a person, I don't feel, unless you've been on holiday with them, you've lived with them for at least a year, because then you can suss their lazy habits. And geez, man, like, Ryan has some habits, like, you know, the standard putting your clothes on the floor when there's a basket next door, snoring like a buffalo every single night, that even to this day is horrific. And to this day he's been saying, I'll go to the doctors, and I'm just like, when are you going to go to this doctor's, or even the pharmacy, anything, just to show me that you're trying. So yeah, and you know, mum came on holiday with us. Mum and dad went to our family home in Bulgaria, and she sussed him out. So I had a lot of tests before I knew that we were going to get married. But you know, just the stress of families putting their 2 pence in, like my mum, his mum and dad, my dad, my brothers, his brother, well it wasn't really his brother because his brother loved me, friends, you know, it was a nightmare. And everybody goes for it, and it's only because they care about us and they want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, and we're really young at the time, but you know, I'm so glad that, you know, everybody did that, because I think, well, it makes you stronger as people, and you really marry because you love each other, not despite everything that you've gone through. And I remember thinking the night before the wedding, I had, you know, my family around me the night before, my friends, like they were all around me, and I felt so loved and so happy. And I just thought, you know, like whatever's happened in the lead up to this wedding, it doesn't matter. Like I love my new family, I love Ryan, and that's all that matters. So when the day we got married, we actually had a Disney themed wedding. So I had all the different tables, all Disney themed. I think I've still got all my stuff, and I've got my table plan, which I'll show you. Hopefully it comes up just now. And it was just the best day. And the stress afterwards, it was just insane. And I felt almost like, as much as people say your wedding is the most important day of your life, like it was, but for us, it felt like the first day of our life together. And I felt like, you know, this was like me and my best mate, like, you know, together forever. And I thought it was great. But oh, like the relief afterwards, and you just total nest with each other, and it's almost like you've just become this like great unit. And you know, even going on our honeymoon, we did an insane honeymoon that I don't even know to this day how I managed to organise it, because I love travelling. On my Instagram you'll probably see my highlights with the countries that we went to on our honeymoon. We went to China, went to then Hong Kong, Japan and the Philippines, and came back home. And honestly, it was the most amazing experience. Not your relaxing typical holiday where, you know, you see each other and you go, oh my god, look how beautiful they are, look how stunning they look. Oh no, we didn't wash for like 2 or 3 days sometimes at a time, and you know, we still lay in bed together with a bottle of 𝒃𝒤 beer, going like, oh, this is the best, like, you know, this is what life is all about. And I knew then we'd done a really good thing, and you know, we totally came out of each other's shells with each other, and you know, we worked together as husband and wife. And I think that was a massive thing, to try and figure out all the different trains. I thought, this honeymoon will either make us or break us, and it made us. And do you know what, best decision ever. So if you're thinking of having a stressful honeymoon to sort of suss you out, do it, because it's fun. You can always have the cocktail holidays later on in life, which I'm really wanting right now, but hey ho, we'll see how long that takes. And then obviously shortly after, a year later, we are here, and we are obviously, as I said in my first video, expecting our little girl. It's funny actually, because if I wasn't in the pandemic, I would have done something totally different to say to Ryan, but the day that I told him, it was literally like his face lit up, and I think he's going to be the best dad. I think he'll take to it better than me, I think, because I'm quite selfish sometimes. I like to, you know, excuse me, heartburn. I like to go out, and I like to, you know, do my own wee thing. And I mean, things are going to change, and I think I'll get there, but he is going to be just amazing. And I think for everything that's happened, losing friends along the way, family feuds, you know, even just nearly just causing grief, so much grief to each other, I think it has made us what we are today. And that's it, he's my life partner, and there's nothing really else to say about him. Like, he's some cool guy, and if you haven't met Ryan, you need to, because he'll fill the hole in your life as he has with me. But that's really just my experience with myself and Ryan over the last few years. I think I wanted to get some kind of, you know, a little bit about me, a little bit of my life, a little bit about my marriage with Ryan, and then we'll move on to the fun topics next week. I think I might talk a bit about my work life through the pandemic next week. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed my ramblings on about my marriage, and all the best, and stay safe everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.